Hey, well, good afternoon, everybody. This is our agent spotlight for February week 4. This week's agent spotlight is Jimmy Glasgot, live from California. Thanks for being with us today, Jimmy.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, and we're looking forward to talking with you. Yeah, Jim's obviously been in the business for quite some time and very successful. Matter of fact, 19 years and more into the business. 15 of those 19 is a multi-six-figure income earner, so incredibly successful. As always, these are unscripted. We just want to get to know the agents and where they are, what they're doing, and how they're doing it, and where they came from prior. So let's kind of start off right there, Jim. Give us a little bit of a background about you and where you came from, how you ran into the insurance industry.
My pleasure. So prior to the insurance industry, I was working for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I worked my way up to a level 3 position. So it was a job that I really enjoyed. I was probably going to retire at the job. I was making a six-figure salary there. I had all the company benefits, perks, you name it. And at the time, I had 5 stepchildren, ages 8 to 18. And then we found out we were going to have another child together. And I realized I kind of had a life hit me upside the head and said, whoa, I work 60, 70 hours a week. I commute 20 hours a week. I'm gone every other weekend. When I get home, I'm up at 5 a.m. I'm home at 9 p.m. When I get home, I could interact with my stepkids because they were older and up. I realized I wasn't never going to see my first and only born child. So didn't realize I had a quality of life issue. I had the income I desired. I thought I was going to retire with Enterprise, and Enterprise lingo is called bleeding green. And I didn't. It just became the time to say, "Hey, I got to look for something else to be able to spend quality time with my son." So I started doing some research. Found that the insurance industry. My wife was a property casualty broker specializing in commercial insurance, so I saw the flexibility that provided, and I went out and got my license on my own. Kind of started talking to a lot of the HR representatives I was working at through Enterprise, kind of saying I'm looking to do a career change so I could pivot and have all these relationships work in my favor. And all these relationships I had said, "Yeah, we'll be open to hearing your new opportunity," because I was going with Aflac of all companies, and great duck commercials. I love their giveaways, and they were fun. And then the minute I left Enterprise, all the doors closed on me, and I was going from a six-figure salary and company benefits and perks and all that to having commission only and 6 kids and a wife, and really kind of out of the frying pan into the fire.
Man, I mean, first of all, 6 kids I got 1. 6, I couldn't even imagine. I'm just telling you, make me tired thinking.
I got 7 grandkids. They're the greatest. You can love them and give them right back.
Yeah, you guys, I was about to say, give them away.
Yep. Not give them away.
Give them back, like push them back. Like, all right, here, I got them jacked up on some sugar. Here you go. See you later.
Right.
But then going in to the business and just cold turkey obviously takes a pretty bold move. You ran into the life insurance industry after, and this is not a sponsored Aflac commercial, by the way. We have not been endorsed by them. But it just didn't work out for you, and great company didn't work out. But started life insurance, and obviously here you are with going through it. You own your own deal, so GFS Groups, and so you guys massively successful, got great people in your organization. What kind of share with that? What do you think some of the if you obviously got a vast amount of experience in this business, what do you think if you're an agent coming into this business, you're looking at it, doesn't matter what age you are, what do you think some of the things that agents should know about coming into this business, like how to prep and get them kind of mentally prepared? What do you think some of those are, some of the things are that are important to an agent coming in now?
Well, excellent question. It's interesting that you bring that up, because when I started, I wanted to be the Johnny One Stop. I wanted to be the jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
I had my property and casualty license. I was doing Aflac, home, health, auto. And I stumbled into the mortgage protection business just to add another arrow to my quiver, as they say.
Yeah.
And it was through me being mentored, really finding a good mentor was key to me because I was a know-it-all. I thought I figured it out. Nobody could tell me what to do. I came from a privately held billion-dollar company in insurance, and I was going to own that as well. And I kind of fell on my face a little bit and had to take my lumps the hard way because I'm kind of stubborn. And I learned that I had to do a word that a lot of people don't like, and that's submit. I had to submit to the system. I had to have some blind faith in what they were telling me, and I had to stop having what I call selective hearing because I heard what I wanted to hear and did what I wanted to do instead of following a proven process. So I really just check your ego at the door and have some blind faith and jump in.
Well, I mean, dude, listen, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you were an executive with a big, huge company. I mean, there's a lot of people, especially this time and age. I mean, 2020 was obviously a bizarre year for the United States and the world for that matter. And so there's a lot of people kind of venturing out. We talk to people nonstop all day, every day. And, coming from a big company where you've had a lot of success, it's a little bit difficult sometimes to kind of transition and listen to some other folks. I mean, we had Christian Pounder on last week onto this, and he's 30 years old, making 300 grand a year. I mean, a lot of people who are, searching around, have been, embedded in and planted into a job for a long time, and now they're looking out and listening to someone like a Christian is kind of hard to do sometimes. I mean, even for someone like me, when I got into it, I was 28 years old, but it was still difficult for me coming from some significant success to pay attention to somebody else. So I don't know if that was necessarily a fault of yours, if you will. I think it was you had success. I mean, listen, kudos to you. So, but change is difficult. I the one of the things, I mean, and I think it's interesting. You obviously, life has changed significantly for you now. You just said you got 7 grandchildren. 6 kids, 7 grandchildren. How has maneuvering into business and like going into kind of a new facet of your life with those grandchildren, and do you feel like this business has allotted you a crazy amount of flexibility and availability to kind of live your life the way you want to live it?
I have to say, the one of the primary reasons was the flexibility it provided
Yeah,
because, for lack of a better term, I was able to be my son's Cub Scout leader.
yeah,
I was able to coach the 8th grade team while he was in 2nd grade because they didn't have a coach. I was at all events. I was home. I was available, and I'm proud to say, 19 years ago, he was the reason I got into this business, and
yeah.
he just passed his test recently. So,
Ah, nice, nice.
yeah, 'cause he's seen what it's done for the family. He's seen the freedom it provides, and he's going to college and going to do it on a part-time basis. But it's pretty exciting what it can provide for you in terms of, you know, it's a sack lunch. You're going to get out what you put into it,
Yeah.
so you get paid what you're worth.
I've known you now 12 years, and so I've seen your son for 12 years, and I remember him just a little dude, and now like he's a big dude now, and
Yeah, he's
so it's
taller than me.
I know. I mean, last time I saw him, it was crazy, and so it's interesting to see that now he's seeing how the success has helped his dad and what it's done, and he's kind of following your footsteps, which seems to be kind of a commonality that we see in like different big managers, their kids kind of following their footsteps. So that's very cool. Um, how about obviously, I'm gonna bring up something. You obviously had an opportunity to go on a trip over the last week, and so you had a trip, and it was to South America, right? South America,
Panama.
Panama, not like Panama City, Florida. It was like Panama,
No,
like Panama, like the
It
country of
was
Panama,
Buenaventura, Panama,
and you
about
kind of
2 hours outside of Panama City.
and then you followed that up by heading out to Boston and seeing some reps out in Boston. It's kind of cool to think about the fact that you were able to take off on that trip, go see some agents in Boston. You got to kind of do that, but your business kind of still kept moving due to the distribution channel that these insurance companies are, value so much. what initially got you into kind of that distribution mind of how, going out there and building that model was so important to you? What kind of caught your interest with that? And obviously you got into sell and make money doing that, but what caught your interest to help you move in that direction?
To start building my agency, what really
Yeah.
got me in the beginning was primarily, I'm born and raised in Chicago. My father moved us out to California in the early 70s. So, got a lot of family back in Chicago. So I kind of used it as a reason to start going back home,
Oh, nice.
to visit family and, right off and actually protect my family members and start sharing what I was doing. And then it just expanded to that, and then I learned I could go to more states, and my attempt to Panama didn't work out too well because I was trying to see if I could do it internationally, and my phone fried, so I was kind of incapacitated. But it's interesting that I was still able to connect through the computer, and we still had a great week of building and recruiting agents and production. So this can be done anywhere, which is phenomenal.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what, that is, and even with your phone being down and out, you guys had an incredible week, so that's awesome. Um, so Chicago, that kind of led you to building and kind of started branching out from there. It's allowed you to kind of go on the run wherever you want and still be able to do it. So that's an important facet to this business. What
Well, if you
Yeah.
recall, Jared, when Equus first started, they actually made a little thing on at the national convention when they denoted me as the RVRM because my home burned down and I bought an RV, a large RV, and used that to go from Colorado to California and run my business.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I remember. I remember. So that's crazy. Burned down, house burned down by fluke, was able to rebuild and stay on the road, kind of visit around and be in an RV for a while, while you can travel and get, still build your business and not miss a beat. So that's awesome. We are, coming into, we've been on these 212 tours. We're hitting some cities. You're going to be joining us in some of these cities. But one of the cities that's getting ready to be announced and changed up is Indianapolis. They're making plans to hit the initial location for our first convention that we did out there at the train station. 5 years later, right? It's 5 years. How has it, in 5 years, we've seen such a vast difference with adding the equity bonus to the mix. There's integrity, which is an amazing deal, which is something you're working on right now, as you're working with integrity and getting a deal with them. And why would, this kind of final words, why would somebody, that's looking in this industry, young, old, been, part-time, full-time, why would they continue? Why would they look into this industry now? Do you see continuous growth in the industry? You think that it's going to keep building? Do you see that the viability of the industry continues? What's your thoughts on how the industry is looking and how it's changed, and if it's still a good choice for people to get into?
Well, I'll tell you, Jared, this is a powerful industry we're in. It's been around for hundreds of years. I've done a lot of research about it, and I've read a lot of books about it. If you look back at the Depression era, the life insurance industry was one of the industries that actually pulled America out of the Depression because it's highly regulated. So, and with the lack of financial literacy out there today, what we have the capability of doing, going out there and sharing with people our message of financial well-being, I think that's the power of this business and always will be, because the schools aren't doing it.
Yeah.
And there's a reason people are fearful of talking about their finances, because we don't have any financial education.
Yeah.
And I don't consider myself an insurance agent. I consider myself a financial educator. And I don't think that'll ever go away. And, it's crazy. COVID hit. I've been in the industry with some big events: mortgage meltdown, 9/11, COVID. And guess what? During those times, our business has exploded, and no one can tell you, put their finger on it, but I can tell you this: my firm belief, in my humble opinion, is because when catastrophic events happen, people realize what's most important.
Yeah.
That's their loved ones. And that's when they decide to do things that they keep putting on the back burner. So our business is similar to what Enterprise used to be. Enterprise was replacement vehicles, so they were recession proof. Very similar business model, and that's I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon.
No, I agree with you. It's amazing how we had a record year in 2020 and the rest of the world. I mean, as much as we absolutely hate, and our hearts go out to everybody who had difficult times in 2020. You know, our industry expanded and blew up, and it's just such an amazing fashion. And yeah, I mean, I was here during the mortgage meltdown, and I couldn't even believe there wasn't really any bumps in the road. It expanded from there, so it's amazing. Final thoughts, Jim. Final part, man. Jim, GFS Groups. How can people get a hold of Jim if they want to come on board, learn about Jim and GFS Groups, and how to partake in the benefits that are available with you guys?
Well, final thoughts. Me and my buddy used to say final. So here we go. So you can find me on Facebook at GFS Groups, Twitter, LinkedIn under Jimmy Glasgot. You can find me under glasgotagency.com. That's one S, two T's. Don't get it twisted. GLASGOTT. And I've had to do that for most of my life. So, you can call me. If you got my number, ring me up.
Right on. Jim, thanks for joining us on our Agent Spotlight for this week. Reach out to GFS Groups on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Check out Jimmy Glasgot. You'll appreciate looking into him. So thanks, Jim. We appreciate you again.
Thanks, Jared.